The railroad has been essential to the development and identity of the United States, serving as a crucial means of transportation and a symbol of progress. Its historical significance is evident in the westward expansion of the 19th century, particularly with the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869, which connected the nation and facilitated the movement of goods and people. This not only boosted economic growth but also fostered cultural exchange, creating a shared American experience. In modern times, the railroad remains vital to the nation's infrastructure. Freight trains transport over 1.7 billion tons of goods annually, providing an efficient and environmentally friendly alternative to road transport. This helps reduce traffic congestion and lower greenhouse gas emissions, aligning with the growing focus on sustainability. Passenger rail services, such as Amtrak, further emphasize the railroad's importance by offering affordable travel options that connect urban and rural communities. This accessibility promotes social equity and allows diverse individuals to engage with different regions of the country. Moreover, the railroad industry supports millions of jobs and drives advancements in technology and engineering. As a critical asset in addressing contemporary transportation challenges, the railroad embodies the spirit of innovation and unity that defines the American experience. Its significance resonates in the lives of all Americans, linking them to their past and shaping their future.
I got David Coleman on here tonight, another edition of Railroad Talk. So, hey Dave, where are you at tonight?
I'm in my apartment, Mike, here in Stowe, Ohio. How you doing?
Okay, doing pretty good. So, yeah, I did get to look at some of the articles you sent me, though. So, how you want to proceed?
Yeah, I guess probably the big news we'll start with is the UP NS so-called merger. They took it back to the STB, and they're trying to see if it's going to get approved. There was a revised merger application that supposedly, I think on April 30th, they had to file it with the federal regulator. So that's what we're just waiting on to see what happens with this. Hopefully, the STB says this is not a good move for the rail industry, and it's just too big of a company, and it just wouldn't make sense. So hopefully this does not go through.
Oh, gee, I hope it don't go through. That's going to be a disaster, man. I just see it coming. I mean,
yeah, I do too. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's there's just going to be problems everywhere. It's way too big of a system. It would be, UP's having enough problems. And, I think Norfolk Southern, look, I mean, they've had their issues. They're trying to turn things around, but by combining two things that, two wrongs don't make a right. So I certainly hope they do not fall into this trap and do this, even though a lot of people think that all the money that Jim Vena and UP have given to the government, they think that might be, that'll be the way that this will get approved. Let's hope that does not happen.
Me neither, though. But one thing I am waiting for, I guess, I heard what the routing is for the UP Big Boy.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be coming through Bellevue. Going to be taking a trip down the Cleveland line through Lorain and up that way, I guess. So I believe it's going to be around the 6th of June.
Yes, yeah. Early June, it's going to come through here. And then it looks like it's going to go up along the lake to Buffalo, and then it's going to go down the Southern Tier line. And then they'll go over to Steamtown in Scranton, PA area. And then they'll spend some time over near Philly, I think. And then it'll work its way back west through Horseshoe Curve in Pittsburgh, and then I think it's going to go up through Youngstown and get back on the nickel plate in Ashtabula, and then go west to Chicago through Bellevue again. So interesting.
Yeah. It's going to come by here twice, real close to me.
Yeah, very close. Yeah, they're going to stay off the old Conrail route between Conway Yard and Chicago. So very interesting how that was devised, and probably that was done mainly to keep away from the busier routes there.
Yeah, I always wanted to see that thing, and I'm do what I can to get my chance. I think I'm going to sneak into a secret place that I know of around Mason Road, so see if I can get away from people, but there's got to be people along that route everywhere,
Oh yeah.
And I know a spot up there off of Mason Road. You can get in there. You have to sneak in there kind of a little bit, and probably not supposed to be there, but I've been there before. Nobody's ever bothered me.
On the nickel plate, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it probably maybe when it comes east to Cleveland. I might go somewhere along where the CSX and the NS parallel each other, between Cleveland and Erie, and that might be a good spot to go, because then I can, you're going to see trains on CSX as well, so it's be worth going there just to see, not only the steam engine, but you're going to do some rail fanning as well on a pretty busy line with CSX.
Absolutely. And also, we're going to have another steamer come through, too, which will be Steam in the Valley, though. 765 Nickel Plate Road will be coming through on the Wheeling Lake Erie, too. So that's going to be about the following weekend.
Wow. I live pretty close to that line, so I'm interested to see if I can get a look at that 765 when it comes through Peninsula in that area. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and also, let's see, on 16th, 17th, that weekend, I will be going to Nelsonville. They're going to run the 1915 Baldwin down there, Hocking Valley Railway, so I'm going to check it out again. Now, last year, I didn't get it because it was in for repairs. Damn it. Anyway, that's enough out of me. So go ahead, Dave. Bring on the stories here.
Yeah, so a couple stories from a few weeks ago, I guess, and there's some little bit of breaking news today with BNSF as well, that I guess UP and the BNSF are talking about eliminating a lot of yardmaster positions. Union Pacific back on April 15th consolidated the yard master positions at Grand Junction, Colorado, 36th Street Yard in Denver, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Pueblo. They've been all consolidated. It looks like there's things about dispatchers getting combined as well. This is stuff we've been seeing go on for years. I guess the big story, though, today on train orders, Mike, was, they were talking, the BNSF was talking, there were a lot of people talking on there that BNSF hasn't been doing as well as they think. Greg Abel is the new Berkshire Hathaway CEO, and he has placed BNSF Railway on notice. He expects to see better performance. Well, I mean, Mike, I think basically what this means is he's going to start adopting the precision railroading stuff. They've never done this really. They've done aspects of it, but they've never adopted it fully. And I think it sounds like, he's going to be doing something like that. It sounds like there's going to be some restructuring in the next few weeks. A lot of people think that if BNSF, doesn't, obviously, if UP and NS merge and BNSF is alone, they might have to merge with CSX, or something might have to come up, on their end, because they're going to be behind the eight ball then. So it's a dicey situation. I guess this guy Penzi 3750 said today, this month's issue of Railfan and Railroad said BNSF made Berkshire Hathaway $4.4 billion in 2025. So I don't, it's hard to say what they're doing wrong, but it's just corporate greed at its finest. Another guy posts, it just, but yeah, I guess the yardmaster positions are going to be abolished in the next 3 to 6 months with BNSF. So how that will be controlled or dispatched is beyond me. And that's, again, here's a situation where like their dispatchers are in Texas, I think. And I mean, you got a system that goes basically all the way from the Pacific Ocean to, well, actually Alabama. BNSF goes all the way down to Birmingham, Alabama, and they go to Chicago, and they cover quite a big territory. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, Mike. I just don't think this is a good idea. But again, this is right from the playbook. These Class 1s just chopping away at anything they can.
Wow. I believe that was in the article that BNSF thinking about with CSX. I don't know. They might as well. I see enough of them on the CSX all the time. Man, the last time I was out, there was a bunch of them that day. I don't know where they all came from. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of them on Norfolk too. The last week. I was on Huron though, around Fraley Road, around them areas. So, and yeah, enough of them came through, as well as Canadian National. So, man,
that seems like I saw some Canadian National as well on Monday. On some Monday and Tuesday, I saw some stuff there on those fracking trains. So nice to see that power down south of the border. But it's the big thing, Mike, is that it seems like that's what these railroads are doing. They're storing their own power, and then they're just using and abusing the foreign power. So they, whatever they have, they can kind of keep, their stuff in good shape, and they obviously just pay back the horsepower hours, later in the year. So it's I guess, I mean, maybe that's one thing they're looking at. Maybe if they all merge, hey, this will cut down on, spending horsepower hours and all that. And, it would, I mean, to me, it would be, I think it'd be a disaster again for the rail industry to have all these huge coast to coast companies, because to me, at the end of the day, when you get so big, it doesn't always mean you're going to be run more efficiently.
Okay, I hear that. Hey, one of our guys in the chat room said, I'm considering purchasing tickets for the Steamtown stop. Well, hey, John, you will like that. I'll guarantee it, though. Hey, we got somebody in the chat room is going to take a ride, I guess, or considering it.
Awesome. Yeah, the Steamtown is quite a place. I've never been there, but any rail fans I've talked to over the years have nothing but great things to say about Steamtown. They're over in Pennsylvania, so that should be fun.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's move forward here. What's next on the agenda?
Let's go up north of the border here. We'll go to Canada here. Ontario is going to extend the GO Transit service.
I read that.
Into Stratford. The Kitchener GO line will begin offering one daily round trip between Toronto and Stratford. On weekdays, the train will depart from Stratford in the morning and return in the afternoon to support commuters going into Toronto. On weekends, it's going to be supporting tourists and anyone who's there for the festival. So this is a big thing, the GO Transit. They're expanding their service. I know they go down to Hamilton, Kitchener, Waterloo, and then the Niagara region. I think they go all the way to Niagara Falls. They take the Grimsby subdivision that CN owns, and actually the Amtrak that runs through to Toronto runs on that line as well. So that was a line that over the years, Mike, had kind of, dropped off in traffic. It wasn't as important, especially since the Conrail breakup. That was a line that was big for auto parts going to Oakville and Oshawa. And some of those trains would come right across the border there at Niagara Falls when they would run into Niagara Yard. And You know, it just seemed like that traffic has dropped off a little bit, or it's been rerouted a different way. And it's good to see that line. They run pretty close to Lake Ontario. Is getting some good use, and I think passengers love to take that route because it's scenic, and it's an easy way to get around in Niagara because the traffic on the Queen E, which is the major highway up there, can get pretty dicey at times, and it can be more like the Audubon. So it's good to see Go Transit doing what they're doing.
Dun, dun, dun on the Autobahn, if you've ever heard that song before. Kraftwerk, 1974. Yeah, I hear that. Oh, wow. I had to throw that. When you mention Autobahn, that's what comes to mind immediately, Kraftwerk. Good electronic band in its day. I mean, very talented people. They're all German, so... Anyway, they made us some pretty good albums, though, and they were all excellent. And Trans-Europe Express was good, too.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it sure was. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, let's move along here.
So, another story from Canada. Well, we're talking about companies that merged. CPKC has selected Winnipeg as its 2026 Terminal of the Year for robust performance in safety and operations. The yard is a pivotal interchange point for moving freight across North America, including freight from some of the largest grain suppliers. This is essential because it's like kind of the middle of their system. Winnipeg obviously would be right on the main line that would go to Calgary and Vancouver, and then going east of there, that's going off to Thunder Bay. You know, and that's a great terminal there. Shout out to all the employees there. I know one of them there, and the guy who works in maintenance there as well. And then all the trains that go to Toronto and Montreal that go across Canada would all go through Winnipeg. So not only are they probably refueling trains and recrewing trains there, but they're probably doing a lot of switching there at the yard. And it sounds like, you know, there's been the guys have had a very good safety record there. They've handled 2.7% more cars, reduced active inventory by 6.7%, less dwell time. Greg Squires says that Winnipeg stands alone. You know, is a select few yards that's earned this award twice. So credit to all the employees there, especially in an area where Mike, it probably was a pretty hard winter there, I'm sure, in Vancouver, or Winnipeg, I should say, where it could snow a lot in the prairies, and to keep trains moving and safely moving, that's a credit to them.
Absolutely. So, anyway, by the way, National Train Day is coming up, I believe this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
So, in Fostoria. So, I'm going to be there, and I guess a bunch of my subscribers and fans are going to want to meet me there. So I'm going to be in Fostoria on National Train Day. So I thought I'd mention that before we move on, because this video will be posted sometime in hours later on, though. I don't know when. It depends when it gets done, processed, and all set up, though. I got a night ahead of me. Then tomorrow I'm heading out to Dessler.
Nice.
So we're going to check out Dessler again. I've been out there probably about 2 years ago, so time to go back again. All right, let's hit the road. Let's keep going here.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing what Dessler's like, Mike. That'll be cool. Let's see here. How about we'll talk about Virginia right now drafting a 6-year transit freight rail improvement plan from the fiscal years of 2027 to 2032. Public comments will be accepted for about another month. They're talking $6.8 billion in state funding for freight rail projects, and then $9.6 billion for about 4 years. They include improvements to rail lines, equipment, and rolling stock, right-of-way, and facilities. Obviously, that brings up a lot of topics here, specifically CSX. CSX, there's two lines that they've always kind of had some there's been a little bit of controversy about the S line that runs between Petersburg and Raleigh, North Carolina. Are they going to put that back in? That line became kind of sleepy years ago when they abandoned that north of Raleigh, and it became kind of a dead-end line. And Amtrak only can use that up to Raleigh, and then they have to cut across on Norfolk Southern to get on the CSXA line to go up to Virginia, go up towards the northeast there. So the other one too, Mike, is that RF&P line that goes north out of Richmond into Washington, D.C. I know they're doing a lot of work with some bridges there around Washington, D.C. now, but there's always talk that they need to expand the capacity on that line further south with the commuter trains. And there's always kind of been, CSX can always own that. There's always a good debate about that. So it'll be interesting to me. I think that's a line they got to keep funding and putting more money into. More and more people are moving there, and it's just a busy route in general. You got so many trains between the commuters, the Amtrak, the auto train runs that line, and then obviously CSX now with the double stack containers with the opportunity to run those up and down the East Coast with the tunnels that were improved in Baltimore. This is going to really give them an opportunity to really make that line really hum to what it should have been years ago, with the better clearances.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, thanks for mentioning about the Canadian route, because them towns, though, you talk about Kitchener and Thunder Bay. I've been there many, many years ago. Beautiful territory, especially around Thunder Bay, man.
Yeah.
Nothing that you can imagine, though. It's so beautiful up there. Anyway, it just brought me memories on that. Okay, let's get going here some more.
No doubt. The Thunder Bay is a beautiful area.
Yes, it is.
So CSX, while we're talking about them, they are going to be serving a new Toyota processing facility at a Jacksonville port. They call it JAXPort. CSX, which provides on-dock rail service to all three terminals at the Florida port, will soon introduce direct service to the facility, CSX officials said on social media. It spans 88 acres and 7 buildings totaling over 380,000 square feet. It will process, accessorize, and distribute vehicles to the 178 Toyota dealers served by Southeast Toyota distributors across its 5-state region. They can process about 4,000 vehicles a week, nearly double the capacity. And it's a major gateway for autos and roll-on, roll-off cargo. So, I think this is going to be a big thing for CSX. Obviously, this is something, kind of what we were talking about a minute ago with that line between Florida and the Northeast, where they can really go and, go all in on this line, with better clearances, auto racks and double stacks running up and down the coast. And I think, Mike, this is a chance to really compete with the trucks on 95 and, really say, hey, we're here, we're serious about this. And, we got to get back some of this traffic, Mike. I mean, I don't know if I think I sent you some of those reports from Folkston, Georgia lately. Man, oh man, there's hardly any trains running through there anymore.
Really?
I know it's crazy. I mean, compared to what it used to be almost double what it was, and it seems like it's like in 24 hours, it's less than 30 trains a day, which is, for a hot spot like Folkston, if you can get this auto traffic humming in there to Jacksonville, you got the clearances better all the way up and down the East Coast. This is CSX's opportunity because Norfolk Southern kind of doesn't really run that route. They run more inland towards Atlanta, and they run kind of towards Charlotte, where now it's a real opportunity for, CSX to say, hey, let's go for this. Let's see if we can cash this in and make this really work, coming off of the money they spent to make those clearances better.
Wow. Huh. Now, you mentioned that you said docks, and you're talking about boats unloading directly on the railway, or?
Yeah. So they're unloading at this port in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a port that CSX goes to. I guess from what it says, they have on-dock service to all three terminals at the port. So, boy, that's a pretty big thing that they're serving all those things, and they're going all in on this. So, good for CSX, and I hope this can really take them to that next step where they can really grow their business.
I just wonder, it may be good for CSX. I don't know. Is it going to be good for Toyota? Are we charging them tariffs, so bringing them over from Japan?
Good question.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Yeah, very good question.
Or maybe we got a really good still good relation with Japan. I hope so. You know, some of these other rotten countries, though, they deserve to get tax tariffs. You know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And again, Japan could turn on us to at any moment. To any country could. You know.
Yep, absolutely. No, you got that right for sure. Another big story this week is in the Gateway Commission letting the contract for the Hudson tunnel boring. They've been awarded this 1.3 billion. And the big thing, the tunnel, they got to make this better, Mike. They got to make it more efficient.
Yep.
The work involves the longest stretch of the tunnel. The contractor will build 2 new tubes, each about 7,200 feet long, under the Hudson River from Waukegan, New Jersey, to the west side of Manhattan. The tubes will be bored using 2 new mixed-use tunnel boring machines. They will connect the 2 tunnel tubes, stabilizing the ground around a section of Hudson Bergen light rail tracks as the new tunnel will pass under. Yeah, I mean, this is a big thing because, you know, now you're getting into like New York City area where a ton of people depend on commuter rail, and they depend on you know, the obviously Amtrak at times. This is a big thing where they can really, you know, say, hey, we got a great opportunity to really jump in here and, you know, make this a much more efficient route, and a tunnel that needs to be modernized too for as much use as it gets.
Yeah, okay. My mind, something sidetracked me for a minute. I heard everything you said, so. Okay, we're at about, coming up on 26 minutes, so let's move on. I don't have any really thoughts on the last story, though, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, another story that kind of was interesting, this happened about a month ago, was Norfolk Southern has extended its lease on its Atlanta headquarters.
Yeah, I've read something about that, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, it's a big thing there. I mean, they have like a food hall, a coffee shop, a fitness center, and an on-site daycare. So, obviously, there must be enough knowledge that they're going to keep something like this for Union Pacific. But boy, that's a great. I mean, you know, all those things that they have there are great amenities. But is Union Pacific going to keep that if they bring them in? I think this is a good move. You know, they're doing the right thing, caring about their employees. But let's see if in 5 years, if UP buys them out, if this is still there. Great setup though. I mean, the fact they've got all those things for their employees is really nice.
Okay. Oh, well, interesting articles you're bringing up, though. I'm sure, people on my channel will be waiting to see the video after we're done here tonight, because I got to do work on it, though, later, though, afterwards. So as soon as the video is done, though, we're done, though, then it's going to get uploaded to the system process while I'm on my next turn. So, so I try to get it done before too late, you know. So anyway, okay, let's, what do you got for me next?
Yeah, so another story up north. The Alaska Railroad scores one of the state's 7 federal grants for port projects. 7 port projects in Alaska were selected out of 37 nationally that obtained grants. It's administered by the Maritime Administration. and it sounds like the grant recipients is the Alaska Railroad Corp, which will receive $20.4 million to upgrade the rail tunnel, which connects the port of Whittier to the railroad's main line, and purchase 30 new rail cars. So good for them, man. I mean, that's a railroad we don't talk about a lot. The only way they connect to the outside world, the class ones and the other railroads, is by barge. So they do a heck of a job, considering they're kind of like on their little island up there in an area where it's cold most of the year. In the Alaska Railroad, I've heard nothing but positive things about them from people who visited them.
Wow. Absolutely cool. Okay, 2844 coming up here. So, okay, we got a lot more to go, or?
Yeah, I got time for a couple more stories here.
I try to keep it as short as possible because we got other people waiting though, and
no problem. Yeah, I can get to one more here. How about CSX here highlighting a partnership with a regional rail LLC, a short line holding company that owns and operates 17 railroads in the U.S. and Western Canada. Shippers are going to benefit from this because they have an expertise in freight transloading and industrial development services. CSX has been an ally of this company for a long time, according to Mark Meyer. What I value most is the market intelligence we share with the marketing team. And CSX produced a video, I guess, that can be watched online as part of this. So, but it sounds like their goals align with CSX. Good for a railroad like this, a smaller railroad, to partner up with CSX. I think it shows that there's got to be something positive going on with CSX. I know there's been a lot of negatives with the CEO leaving the last year, but hey, this is sounds like the right move.
I would hope so. I hope so. Okay, go ahead. Do another one.
Let's get to another story here. I think the one thing too that we haven't talked about lately is labor unions. It seems like something that's been pretty positive for the most part since that Canadian strike from a few years ago. I guess this is a couple Fridays ago, CPKC announced to reach a tentative agreement with the Sheet Metal Air, Rail, and Transport Works Transportation Division and the Brotherhoods of Locomotive Engineer and Trainmen. They consolidated 11 existing contracts into 2 new long-term hourly agreements. The pacts will be in effect till 2034, and it covers about 1,700 train and engine service employees in numerous states across the Midwest and the Southeast. It just sounds like they have labor contracts in place that cover 81% of its U.S. workforce. And let's see, they're talking about maybe renegotiating the Soo Line agreement with BLT or BLET, and they'll try and do that maybe in a couple years. So far, so good with this. It sounds like the union and the union heads get along with the employees, and that's what you want. You want to have labor peace, because this could be, anytime you fall into that mess where, a couple years ago where there was a possible strike, wow, that caused a lot of problems. So you never want to have labor.
Okay, well, let's see. We're at 32:17. Oh man, a lot of stuff to cover here for the half-hour segment. So, hey, if you got one more, go ahead, and maybe we could keep it right there. And who knows, we can continue whatever you might have left over next week, next month. So
yeah, let's go to West Virginia for this next story.
Okay, good old West Virginia.
Norfolk Southern outlines mitigation efforts for abandoned mine runoff And Mingo.
Yeah, I seen the picture of that. You know, that water just looked like the water came out of my son's truck, though, when I flushed his radiators out and stuff. It was horrible. But it looks to me like it's, like it said in the article, iron ore. Some kind of iron ore or something, though. And, yeah, it could make sense. There's a lot of iron down there, I believe, as well as natural gas smell in the water.
Yeah. I mean, they planned on conducting maintenance of their tracks for the safety of the infrastructure, and it sounds like they're water from an abandoned coal mine onto the right of way. So, yeah, and then obviously Norfolk Southern really didn't do a lot about it. The stuff for the coal mine ended up at the river. And this just seems like something that could have been prevented. I mean, this obviously it starts with the coal mine and them not following all the way through. But the girl, really thinking about this. I mean, it's a situation where obviously it's a discoloration that's connected to a ditch and drainage work that's being performed by Norfolk Southern. So they're trying to manage this. I guess they're using like boom trucks, different fencing, and they even said a vacuum truck. So it's obviously what people worry about too, Mike, with this is what could happen is like with the water with East Palestine from years ago. So you want to make sure there's nothing like that happening in this, and the water is safe to drink in an area like that.
No, I wouldn't think so with that stuff floating around, getting in the groundwater. Nope.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't drink it either. Nope, definitely wouldn't drink it for sure.
All right, well, we're at 34:58, so, yeah, we're going to, I guess we're going to have to call it here because it's been running lengthy here, and I try not to do that. So, one last final thoughts or anything?
Yeah, I guess hopefully this UP NS thing doesn't get approved.
Yeah.
Hopefully the big boy is taking a big trip for a whole lot of nothing.
It's going to end up being a whole lot of nothing, though, and who knows, it might knock them both out of business. And then the federal government, we're going to have to bail them out with a new Conrail.
Wouldn't that be something? Oh, my God, wouldn't that be something?
That's how Conrail came to be because...
You're right.
Yeah. So they did it as Conrail. So, and as Conrail, they did real good.
They did. Yeah, they got rid of a lot of the lines they didn't need. A few of them around here that were lines that, like one that went to Youngstown, one that went to Akron.
Mm-hmm.
They just, they kept the routes they needed. A lot of them were New York Central routes.
Yeah.
Because they had the bigger right of ways and they were flatter routes. And Conrail did very well. So
absolutely.
Yeah, imagine if there is the 21st century version of Conrail. Wouldn't shock me if somebody proposed that. But
it could happen.
it very well could happen because a lot of these railroads are not doing as well as they thought. And you look at like BNSF and you watch these rail cams and stuff, and man, they got trains running all the time. But obviously, somebody else somewhere else thinks something else. So
there you go. There you go.
So that yeah. Just hopefully this mystery, this whole thing gets cleared up, and we know if they're merging or they're not.
Okay, very good. Oh, somebody put something up here, Palestine. I don't know if it's referring to East. Arriving at the Promised Land, a gentleman named Hannig. Well, when I seen that, I don't think he's no, I don't think it has anything with East Palestine, but hey, I like that heading, though, that picture, though. But anyway. All right, Dave, so thanks for being with us here tonight, though, and looks like we're going to be back here on June 6th.
Awesome, Mike. Can't wait for it. Yep, and hopefully this summer we can meet up somewhere, Berea or somewhere, and do some rail fanning.
All right, just let me know, and we'll try to meet there somewhere, or even Hudson or somewhere, And
Yep, Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Or
no
even
doubt.
Alliance. I like Alliance, so that's kind of a neat place there. Anyway, okay, Dave, thank you for being with us.
Sounds good, Mike. Yep, you have a good night.
Okay, very good. That was David Coleman from Stow, Ohio, so bringing us on the latest information on the railroad infrastructure. Okay, with that, though, I'll turn it back over to Net Control, KA2PT with WB4AO. This is N8RBI.